Today on the Rumors Comedy Cast, Dan Glasswick talks to Ivan Decker about lying to children, the guaranteed success of a bachelor's degree versus being a word clown, and he poses a salty question to next week's guest. Stay tuned and follow us at Rumors Comedy.
Hello and welcome to Rumors Comedy Cast, episode number 43. We're here with Ivan Decker. Ivan.
Hello.
Is this your first time at Rumors?
Yeah, it is.
But not your first time in Winnipeg.
No.
And how did the show go tonight?
It was fantastic. It was a real dream come true, I think, for
Yeah?
me and a few other people.
Okay.
I think one lady particularly enjoyed a joke I had about spiders.
Did you get her name?
No.
Okay. Maybe next time.
Yeah,
But you have been in Winnipeg before.
I have, for the festival.
Okay. And do you notice a big difference between a festival crowd versus like a club crowd?
Not particularly. I mean, as long as they're people that want to enjoy a show,
Yeah.
it's kind of the main. Sometimes you do corporate comedy where they don't want comedy at all.
They don't.
So you're performing for people that are laughing or not laughing. They feel like they're laughing under duress. They're basically being held hostage by you.
Sure.
Because somebody at their company was like, let's bring in a comedian. And then 4 people were like, great idea. And then 80 other people were like, what? Who's coming here? And so they're very mad at you.
And so this would be your preference
Of course.
over...
It's an interesting industry in that you have to aspire to perform to people who want you to be doing it. That's on the list of aspirations.
Yeah.
Someday, I'll get to do jokes for people that want jokes. Oh boy, how great will that be?
One day.
Yeah.
No.
No, tonight was the night. This was the day.
This was it?
It happened.
Okay.
They all wanted comedy, and I said it at their dumb faces.
Yep.
I mean, they were great. They were great people. I don't know why I said dumb faces.
That's okay. We're going to edit a lot of this out.
Yeah, you can edit that part.
I read that you started at the age of 19.
I did.
What inspired that?
Well, I'm a middle child, so I did not get nearly enough attention as a kid. But also, I was in, like, acting and stuff in high school, and I realized how much...
So you wanted that attention, like, immediately.
Yeah,
You were
I always
like,
kind of liked, even from, like, a very young age. Like, I remember being, like, 4 years old, like, anytime, like, assemblies and stuff would come to the school, and they were like, we need a volunteer. Like, I was always like, get me up there.
Yeah.
So that's always been sort of part of my personality is that I want to be in front of people. But I didn't know in what capacity. I thought I wanted to be an actor, and then I realized that when I was doing like funny scenes and stuff with people in high school, they weren't good at it. And I was like, I don't want to have to rely on somebody else.
Right. You were the good one.
Yeah, I was very selfish. I was
Okay.
like, I want all the credit
Sure.
for these laughs.
And that's why stand-up was
Yeah,
the route that you
that's
went.
it. But I didn't realize that also you get all the bad stuff too. Like if it goes poorly, it's your fault.
Sure.
You can't just be like, it was that goddamn lighting guy.
Yeah.
The script was bad. No, you wrote it, and you performed it.
So this podcast is on you, by the way.
Yeah,
Yep. What about...
Is that gonna play? How high is this?
No, we'll just know where he is.
Well, we
For
won't.
a while.
As soon as we look away, he'll be there. He lands.
It's an HD camera. They
Okay,
pick
good.
up everything now.
They'll have a. Is it high speed? Is it like the slow mo guys? Have you seen those videos
Yep.
where they slow mo stuff?
Definitely is.
What's your favorite one?
Blowing up a watermelon with elastic blands.
Yep, that is a good one.
I said blands.
Elastic blands. They were just
Elastic
very boring
Those are
elastics.
horrible elastics.
No flavor.
What
on
about-
this elastic?
What about the other Deckers? Are they in the spotlight?
My dad was a writer.
Okay.
He wrote a book, a collection of short stories that was pretty good.
Siblings.
Siblings, no. They are, well, actually, my half-brother has a YouTube channel where he does domino rallies. And he's actually got a lot more views than me on a lot of them. So I'm in the wrong game. I didn't know you could just get in the domino game.
And he's killing it.
He's killing it on the web.
What? How many does his most popular YouTube clip have?
It's got like 20,000 views.
And what's your most popular one?
I don't know, 4,000. It's bad. Anytime he's 8. He's also 8.
younger.
I should mention that.
Oh, no.
So family dinners. They're like, "How you doing with your career, Ivan?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I'm getting murdered here by Mr. Domino's."
Yeah. Can we post a link to his?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's his name?
The YouTube channel is Official Silly Poo Domino's.
That's for real.
That's the name.
And he's killing it.
He's murdering it.
Is he making money off his?
He edits
YouTube
all his own
channels?
videos too. I don't know. It's great. I don't think he's making money.
No, not yet.
It's for him. It's
I mean,
all
he's
about
8.
the love.
He's 8.
It's all about the love of the Domino's.
I mean, if you started at 19 and you're making money now,
Yeah.
imagine what he's gonna make when he's 19.
He'll be crushing it. He'll be a Vine star in no time.
Oh man.
He'll be up there with Bo Burnham doing domino shows. I'll be opening for him with his dominoes.
It's a comedy domino show.
Yeah. But no, my other siblings, my full siblings, I have 2 brothers, and they both work in residential concrete.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
So they make driveways for rich people.
Yeah.
A lot of hilarity.
One older, one younger.
Yeah.
And
That's
how
how
do they
middle
feel about
children work.
your career?
They're pretty, I don't know, I guess they're into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll come and see my shows. It is weird, though, because, like, when you've known somebody the whole time, you don't see them as the same as, like, most people see them. So
Sure.
to them, it's like, I'm just the guy that they grew up with.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't understand why everybody's laughing.
With no like real life skills.
Yeah. I think my younger brother says when he comes to see me, he gets very nervous on my behalf.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he's like, it's uncomfortable. I can't come watch you because I'm too worried that...
Have you done poorly in front of him?
Well, yeah, he used to come to, like, my early shows, like when I first started out. So
How much younger is he?
5 years.
Okay, so he was coming to...
I used to do shows at coffee shops that everybody could go to.
Oh, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay. We're moving right on. You did start in Vancouver. You're from Vancouver.
Yes.
From
From the suburbs.
the suburbs. What part?
It's a town called Ladner.
Okay.
It's not a very high class town.
Yeah.
And I know this because it has a slough that runs through the town. And I didn't know that not every town had a slough. And some people don't even know what a slough is. It's when they're like, we couldn't make a sewer.
Right.
So we'll just float all the toilet water through the middle of town.
Like the Red River,
Yeah.
kind of.
Does Winnipeg have a slough?
Yeah.
Okay.
It runs through most of the town.
No wonder I feel such a connection
Yeah.
with this city.
You started at 19. Was there any plans for post-secondary? Was there any plans for university, or was it just comedy right away?
Yeah, I wanted to go. I thought I was going to be a scientist,
Yeah.
and I liked science, and I took like a semester of college.
Okay.
I took psychology and anthropology and paleontology.
A lot of tologies.
Yeah, that's how science works. They
Yeah.
usually end in ology,
Okay. Didn't need that fucking attitude.
except for physics. That one doesn't have an ology. I think we need to call somebody.
I think physics is more math. I think it's
But it's still a
it's a
science.
bastard son of math.
Yeah, but it's science. Like, it still could be an ology if it got its shit together.
Well, I finished university.
Yeah? What ology did you study?
Filmology.
Filmology? Sweet.
It's a science.
Yeah,
Science
I think it is.
of film.
Goddamn.
So when you first started, you're doing some open mics. What kind of stage time were you getting when you were 19?
I did like some of the amateur nights at the comedy club, and I would do like 5. I was so terrified of going over my time that I would do 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd go like 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And I drove 45 minutes into Vancouver to do these spots
From the slough.
from the slough.
Okay.
Slough Town, USA. Well, Canada. Slough Town, Canada. And I would drive in for 45 minutes. I would do 4 minutes on stage, and then I would watch the show, and I'd go home.
And because I know that you got into Yucks
Yeah.
later on. How long?
No,
were
early.
You,
I started there.
you started at Yucks.
Yeah. But then the club that I started at became a different club. Like, they bumped the franchise.
Okay.
and they went independent. And I stayed with them because that was where I started. And so,
So were you ever a Yuck Yucks comedian?
yep,
Did you get to travel with them?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I went to a lot of wonderful places.
When was the first, like, how long did it take for you before getting into comedy, before you started to travel to even rural BC?
I actually toured. I looked back, and I toured very early. It was like 2 years in, and
Yeah.
I was already opening on the road for comedians. A lot of comedians. I won't name them, but people who had a reputation for nobody wanting to work with them, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'll go.
Oh, just do one.
I'll go." I can't do it.
Are they still working?
Oh yeah, they're doing one-man shows now, I think.
A lot of fringe festivals?
No, I don't think they'd
Right.
be allowed.
Okay.
One of them had a big plan to take down Yuck Yucks, though, which I got to hear a lot of in the car.
The whole franchise?
Oh yeah, he was like, I got a big plan, and he got like a phony phone number with like a fake name, and he like made up this person that was like gonna be the new organization. He hired a voice actor to do the voicemail on that phone. He was like, nah, it's not me. I'm just a comedian that works for this other person. And then he ran out of money, and then that was just his phone number.
And that was it?
Yeah, he couldn't afford the 2 phones. He didn't really plan out the strategy.
Yeah. Because Yuck Yucks is still there.
Yeah, no, they won. I think they won. They won a battle they didn't even know they were in. Like, his plan exploded in the hangar. He never even got to march on the castle.
But maybe it was better that way because maybe they still don't know?
Yeah.
Or they know?
Yeah, I think they probably had an idea. But they were like, oh, yeah, this won't work.
Okay. So you took 3 courses and you were like, I'm good at stand-up.
Yeah, I was already I had a couple of spots, and it sort of went well, and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't getting any fulfillment out of school, because it just felt like I was looking forward to university, because I thought it would be different than high school. Like, it would be, now I'm in charge, and I don't have to report to anybody. I didn't like the hierarchy system of school, where they're like, you didn't do your homework, and you weren't here on time, like all that crap. I was like, why does that matter? I just want to learn stuff. And they were like, and then when that was happening in college as well, I was like, well, I'm out. This is stupid.
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want something I can learn.
I want to forego a career of guaranteed success to a life of traveling on the road with.
Hey, it's pretty good. I don't know. I started early enough.
But so you had to work other jobs.
Nothing's guaranteed success.
You didn't start off 19 just killing it.
How many college students you know that are guaranteed successful? How many goddamn arts degrees work at Starbucks? Yeah, guaranteed success. Real guaranteed.
This podcast is sponsored by UW Arts Association and Starbucks. Please keep going.
What a guarantee.
What was your favorite job that you had when you were doing stand-up before you could say, I've moved into full-time?
My favorite job? I worked at a children's science center.
Oh.
Yeah, and I used to do shows for kids with little to no science. Like, I knew, but I wasn't formally educated.
You got a few of the ologies.
Yeah, I knew, but I had to learn all the ologies at a very base level.
Okay.
And explain it to children.
Well, you could just lie to children.
Yeah, and that was the best part of the job.
Yeah.
These kids would come up with weird questions afterwards and be like, how do they know the universe is as big as it is? And I'd be like, well, they have lasers, and they use those, and then that's how they found out. And kids would be like, really? And I'd be like, yep, see ya. And I would just leave.
That sounds right, though.
Yep, exactly. See? That's my whole... I learned how to say things that kids would be like, yeah, I know. A man told me it was lasers. That was kind of my go-to answer for a lot of questions.
So was that the last job that you had before you started doing full-time?
Yeah.
And when did you know that it was time to make that leap? When did you know, like, all right, I quit this, and I'm just doing stand-up now?
When I moved into an apartment that did not cost as much to rent. And I was like, I think I can probably take the leap. So it was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's really awesome.
Here I am.
Yep.
Ironed shirt and everything. Can you believe it? No guarantee on that success, but here we are.
Did you iron it today?
No.
Okay.
It came ironed, and then I just kind of kept it that way.
So has it been washed yet?
No,
Good move.
it's pretty new.
Good move.
I wear an undershirt.
Do you just that's the kind of cash you're making these days? Just new shirt every
Yep.
town you go to?
I don't underwear, socks, and shirts. I just wear them and then I throw them away. Because that's how.
You could donate them. Well, yeah, I guess you don't want to donate those.
I mean, I don't have a film school degree, but I'm really killing it in the socks and underwear.
Filmology.
Sorry.
Was there a lot of work in Vancouver when you first started? Or was there a lot of travel involved when you kind of made that leap?
Yeah, there's a lot of like sort of towns they're all like 6 hours away. Just mountain towns. You drive forever.
Right.
And they're all kind of like industry towns, like forestry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mining.
The kind of guys that'll call you a pussy for being there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I made some wardrobe errors in the early years.
Yeah.
Where you'd wear a tie to a town like that. They'd be like, well, this guy's gay for sure, so let's murder him after the show. They'd be like, well, that was not good. And it was a lot of people, like comics, really throwing me under the bus. And I thought it was like insulting.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing it to slight me. And then I realized later, once I started headlining, I'm like, oh, they were just doing it to survive. Sometimes that's what you got to do. The crowd is so rough, you just got to like throw your opener
Oh, would you do that
way
now?
under the bus.
Would you do that to
No.
an opener?
No, I'm a good person.
Because you learned from it.
Yeah, I knew how it felt.
Yeah.
But they had the attitude of like, well, that's part of it. You just sometimes you got to take your licks.
Right.
I'm like, well, it doesn't have to be that way. The world doesn't have to be that way. We can all just have a good time.
Got to take your licks. That's
I think a lot of people, comedians have this like false sense of being like almost deities. They're like, we're really important, and it's important that we're very serious. And I'm like, we're word clowns. Stop acting like we belong in some high level of thing. We just tell dumb jokes to people.
Don't you hope or aspire one day that you could come? Like, I almost view a comedian as like a modern day philosopher that hopefully will be able to spin a yarn that makes sense but also creates kind of some
No.
sort of substance. No.
You want to learn something? Read a book. I'm here to tell you how much I hate my juicer.
Okay. I read that you like funny words.
Yes.
What you got any funny words for us right now?
I don't know. I think soup is a funny word.
Soup.
Yeah, soup's good. I always think of like words that I want to put in a punchline because they're just kind of funny on their own, and it's good if your joke can have like funny words in it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, casserole. That's a good one. See, it's funny on
Right.
its own. If I could write a joke involving casserole.
I wanna go through this quickly because I know we're short on time here. But
Okay.
Splitsider named you as the funniest Canadian under 30.
Yeah.
You're now 30.
Yeah, it's all over for me.
There was a lot of talk that I read in the interviews about your age and how you kind of came up. Was that something of a point of pride? Is that you're doing it this well when you were that young?
No, I don't think I am any better than anybody else. Like, I just started earlier. That was the only thing that happened.
Sure.
It was like I started at 19 and I kind of stayed with it. Like most people start comedy in their mid-20s or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of an advantage in that realm, but I also don't look like I look much younger than I am because I can't grow facial hair.
You got like a little bit of a shot. Like
It grows. I grow like the Ethan Hawke type, like the mustache, and I've grown it out, and it looks horrendous. Like
Yeah.
it's the worst. I had a girlfriend that was like, "You should grow out your beard," and I was like, "No, I should not, because you will hate it." And she's like, "No, I bet I won't." And then I grew it out, and she's like, "You have to shave that immediately."
And is she still a girlfriend?
No.
Okay. Well. Being that you were so young when you started comedy, do you think it was almost like? Do you think audiences gave you what you wanted because you were 19? Do you think they almost kind of took back and said like, I don't want to learn from
Yeah.
a 19-year-old?
Totally. There's a big thing. I noticed a crazy, like in the past 2 or 3 years, when I shifted to being older than the average age in the audience than younger than, like, it was such a crazy shift. Because, like, nobody wants to listen to somebody younger than them talk about anything, right? Like, if you see a young person trying to be like, this is the way life is, everybody be like, shut up, you're an idiot. But as soon as you're, like, a little bit older than them, they're like, okay, yeah, let's get on board with this. This guy probably knows. And so, like, the material, I didn't even change the jokes, but just as soon as I got older than the people in the audience, they were like, yeah, we're on board now. Whereas 2 or 3 years before that, they were like, shut up, you don't know anything. You're so young and dumb.
So were you saying your age at that point, or are you noticing it now, or do you think it's like how did that shift happen in your mind?
It just happened from the Earth going around the sun.
Yeah.
And I was on it.
Okay.
And then I stayed alive, and so I got older.
Sure.
And then.
So the content you feel didn't necessarily change. It was still similar.
It was just
mindset
based on time moving
forward. Okay.
And the body aging, as it does.
Wow.
A real marvel of biology.
It's gonna move through a lot of my lighter ones. Do you think you started later in life? You might. Was there something?
What's that? You can ask that question.
No, it's all about the older demographics. And
that's a really long one. What's that? What's that one?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. I asked that one though. Did you have trouble with connecting to an older demographic, which you kind of answered is that they didn't necessarily.
Yeah, a little bit. And I try to keep things like, I'm not gonna not do jokes about Netflix or things like that because people don't understand them. And so sometimes I'll come across a crowd that just won't understand the references. Yeah. But also, like, there is a thing with the older generation, and they will get very upset if they feel excluded. Which to me is like, that's very arrogant of you. Like, you expect us to slow down and wait for you? If you can't understand it, like, don't be mad at me.
Right.
Get mad at yourself for not keeping up on what's happening. Like the pace of technology or whatever. It's like, I don't like phones or computers or anything, so you should slow down and do jokes about my stupid dog for the whole hour. I'm like, no, I don't know your dumb dog. I have the internet, and that's what I interact with. I'm going to write about what I know.
So do you have a good relationship with older people?
Yeah, they're great. I love them.
I didn't want to say grandparents because I don't have grandparents, and I didn't want to bring up any kind of, bad experiences.
What happened?
They're just dead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're just
mine too.
Okay.
Well, I have one. I have one left. She's great.
Yeah, lucky you.
I gotta tell you, man, it's awesome.
How is your material age? No. Okay, so in addition to stand up
every Christmas, I get $50. From my. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't.
It's okay. They were alcoholics.
Well, I mean, it wasn't everybody at that time.
I suppose so. I don't know.
Like I don't think I would trust a grandparent that wasn't an alcoholic at one point. You were alive. You were alive in the 40s. You weren't just pounding back whiskey.
So beyond stand-up, now you do some writing.
Yep.
And some acting, and some improv.
Little bit of acting. I'm not a very good actor. I'll act in something as long as I can play basically myself.
What you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
Do you think that's necessary for exposure, or using that as a tool to build on other skills that you hope complement your stand-up?
You kind of have to. I know there's a lot of things you have to do to make your stand-up more viable. It's weird. Like, people won't take a comedian as like, oh, he just does comedy. That's great. Like, you have to do something else. And then they're like, oh, let's go see his comedy. He was in that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need that credit to be able to say, I do stand-up.
Yeah.
Which is the hardest thing because you are a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. I just want to do comedy, but I mean, it's also fun to explore these other avenues. And I'd like to be better at acting, and I've written for a couple of things. It's pretty fun, like sketches and things like that. It's good, but I don't know. It's just not my field.
Yeah.
It's not myology.
Not your ology.
I'm in a different ology.
You have, and this is going to go way off script here. You have such an incredible beat and pace to your stand-up, and I'm noticing it now in the way that you talk, and I'm not sure if it's just for the podcast, but is this how you've always kind of like you emphasize when you want to emphasize and you don't when you don't? Do you know what I mean? Like if you have something to say, you say it like this, and then you have something to say next, you say it like this. Was that something that you learned, or is that something that you always kind of necessarily had?
I don't know. I think, it just comes from experience, being on stage. And I've always been kind of very aware of the energy in a room. It's something you have to pay attention to as a comedian. And what it means, though, is when you become hypersensitive to that, if you're ever in an uncomfortable situation...
Is it on me?
But you're not on stage? Yeah, I saw that. I think it just hit you. I think it hit you and then died immediately.
Probably did die.
There was a fruit fly for those of you at home. If it's not picking it up,
It's HD.
call in now and tell us your fruit fly stories. We're talking fruit flies here on Comedy Rumors podcast. You're on the Bear 108.6. Every radio station in a small town is always named after some kind of mountain animal.
Yeah.
So he's like, welcome back to 96.5, the Caribou. We're giving away a Trans Am. I forget what I was talking about. Comedic timing.
Yeah.
I pay attention to the energy in a room. And it's awkward too when if I'm ever watching just a public speaking scenario. I'm just in the audience and someone's saying something and they're bombing. I become hyper aware of it just from being in the room and feeling that energy, and I'll start to get very uncomfortable. And it's I shouldn't because it's not on me, but I'm still God, really. So
do you think the stand-up experience could lead you, you think that maybe you could do public speaking because you have a rhythm and a beat and a pace that maybe not necessarily you have the message.
Oh, well, stand-up is public speaking. Of course you could do it. Any stand-up could be a public speaker.
Right.
The fact that public speaking is even a thing is ludicrous.
Okay, I guess
We got zinged.
Okay, we got one more question. What's in the future? Any big show announcements you want to make? Anything you want to break on this podcast? News first here.
I'm gonna be here till the 23rd. Very exciting. I have a comedy album that I recorded that's coming out next year, so stay tuned for that.
Okay.
I don't know what you're going to stay tuned to. The internet. Tune your internet to my Twitter page. Use the knob that's on your internet to tune it.
What's your Twitter handle?
Ivan Decker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
It's pretty good.
What's your Hotmail?
Hotmail? idecker01@hotmail.com. You can email me all you want, because that's the email that I give to every garbage thing that wants your email. Because I have two. I have a regular email, which is a business one.
Why don't you give the business one?
Well, because that's on my website. You can find that.
We'll find it.
But the Hotmail is what I use. Everybody has a garbage one for when you go to some store and they're if you join our email list, you get 10% off. And you're okay, yeah, here it is. Send it to this email that I never check.
Okay. We're going to get out of here, but we have, Sean Lecomber.
Yeah.
Coming up next week.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Is there a question that you might like to ask Sean?
Oh, me? A question for Sean?
Well, I'll ask him because you're not going to be here. Unless you're I love Winnipeg so much that I'm going to give up stand-up and maybe...
I want you to ask Sean if he could have sex with any celebrity, alive or dead, who would it be?
And what would your answer be?
What would my answer be?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, who's that girl from...
Goldie Hawn.
Yep, that's it. Goldie Hawn. I don't know how you did that, but you nailed it. That's all the time we have, folks.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us with Rumors Comedy Cast number 43. Have a great night. Ivan Decker here till the 23rd. He's a hilarious act. Come check him out. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
We did it.
Thanks, man.
Hey, nice work.